Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and this one's going to be about moving averages within the technical analysis basics that I'm doing. Now you can access the technical analysis basics through my playlist, it's down in the description, and I'll link it somewhere in the cards as well. So yes, without further ado, let's learn about moving averages. Now moving averages is basically the average price movement over a certain period of time. Now the typical ones are 50-day moving average and 200-day moving average. Now, but moving averages, they are down to the period. So if you were doing it by the day or the week or the month, we'll go and have a look in a minute. It would be last 50 days, last 50 months, last 50 weeks, as I just mentioned. Now, before we jump in, you can never time the market perfectly. This is used as guidance and hopefully getting yourself a better price with your investments going forward. So this is the Tesla chart. I picked this one because it's easy to use, it's easy to know. Everyone knows Tesla, etc. as I keep mentioning. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to indicators, we're going to hit that, and we're just going to type in moving average. And you can see at the top here, moving average, and we're just going to click that. And what that does is, we just close that, what that does is it adds it to the list up here. Now you see this yellow line that it's created, that's the moving average of a 9-period move. Now that's completely pointless in my opinion when I'm using for trades. So what we're going to do is click on that and hit the settings button, which is the little cog here, and you can see the settings word there. And what that does is it brings up a few details, and we just want to slide over to inputs and change that to 50. And what that does, it basically creates a moving average over the last 50 periods. Now, as I mentioned before, the periods are down to what kind of time zone you're on. So up here, we are currently on the 1 day time period. You can change that to 4 hours, 1 month, 1 week, as I mentioned earlier on in the video. But for now, we're going to use it for 1 day because it's the most common. Okay, so what we're going to do is just take a look at that. That's the moving average. Great. Now, what I've actually done is I've prepared some earlier, as you can see here. So I am just going to bin this one off, remove. And I'm just going to show these, which are the lines I made earlier. Now, the blue one, as we can see, is the 50-day moving average, so it's the same as the one we had last time. And the bottom one is the 200-day moving average. Now these are the most commonly used because it kind of gives you the ability to mark trends a bit easier than other periods. And you can see here that the Tesla stock tends to follow this 200 moving day average, which I didn't know until looking at it now. Now let's jump into the signals of buying and selling. Now the way we use moving average as part of our toolkit is by basically identifying trends, and we do this by basically seeing when the lines cross. So you can see here that this blue line, which is the 50-day, and it's crossing below the 200 line, which is showing a possible reversal down for the downside. And then as we move forward, it's kind of bounced off that level and it's kind of following the 200, and we should be expecting that this blue line will go above the red line, which will show us possible reversal to the upside, and therefore we will be buying the stock, or it's another indicator to possibly buy the stock. Now you would probably have this in conjunction with things like relative strength index and resistance and support lines, as we've gone through before. But obviously this is just an extra indicator that you can use to bolster your decision. So I've used Tesla as the positive movement, and we can see possibly that this line will go above that, showing a positive movement to the upside. Now what we're going to do is we're going to check out another stock which has a possible move to the downside, or at least it has done, and I'll show that as an example. So we're going to go for DraftKings. Whack that open, and you can see here already by the chart that the 50-day moving average moved below this red line quite strongly actually. Now the reason I bring this up is because when it crossed, it was currently sitting at $52, and then it moved further down, and it went all the way down to about $42, and that's a risk that we obviously want to avoid. So what we would do is possibly sell around about this point, because you can never time it perfectly, as I alluded to earlier. But then you would have saved yourself, because that's 48, you still would have saved yourself about 10%, maybe 15%. But what we have coming forward for DraftKings is a possible move to the upside. Now, if we can see here, I'll show you, I'll zoom in a little bit more. We can see here, this is moving upwards, and you can see the trend is kind of going here. So if we see the next couple of weeks quite positive for DraftKings, then we might just see that this 50-day moving average will move above the 200-day moving average, which might be a point to buy the stock, if you see what I mean. And then we might be looking towards kind of $59 to $60, which then would represent a kind of good 15-20% increase. So I hope that this demonstrations that you can understand moving average more, and it kind of gives us the opportunity to see buy signals and sell signals, showing those reversals to the upside and towards the downside. Now, I would only use this as part of my arsenal, so I'd use it with the relative strength index, as I mentioned, and the support and resistance lines, put all the indicators together and kind of go and make and then make an investment decision based on those indicators using technical analysis. It is also key to note that it doesn't include news and events and earnings and things like that. This is just a general stock movement, and it's trying to show you the kind of key reversals there and then, so you have to be aware of the news articles as well, what's going on with the national economy, etc, etc. So thank you very much for watching this kind of guide on moving averages. I hope you took some value from it. If you did, smash the like button, I really do appreciate that, and obviously subscribe to the channel for more investing content like this, stock reviews and all the other stuff I do too. Thank you very much, stay safe, invest safe, and I'll see you soon.